still only pushing. Okay, start record. Okay, so first misspelling, just now I already explained. Second is the forget to match the closing quotation. This is very common also. If you forgot to put the closing quotes, so it is going to give you errors. So you variables before they have been named, allocate in memories. Okay, so for this example, just now I explained it. So print number equal to 1, 2, 3. Supposedly, what means here using variable before they have been named. So you need to name this first before you print it out. So supposedly you need to write number equal to 1, 2, 3, and then you put print num. Sorry. You cannot put the print num first because programming is run from the top to the bottom. Okay, so it will not like go to the bottom and then going up. No. That's why you need to name it first. Number equal to 1, 2, 3, then you print the num. That one, okay. Okay. So runtime errors. So occur as a program is executing, the syntax of the language have not been violated, means the syntax is okay, is correct. Okay, during the execution, a serious error is encountered that causes the execution running of the program to cease. Okay, so with a language like Python, where translations occurs just before the executions. So the timing of when runtime errors appear won't seem different from a syntax error. Okay, but for language where translation occur well before executions, the difference will be quite noticeable. So for example, a runtime error is division by 0. So you want to make it like number 1 divide by number 2. So you know that everything divide by 0, you will get infinity, right? So number 2 cannot be 0. So it will get infinity. That is what you mean like division by 0 is error. Because when you run, the computer will not knowing to show you what kind of result. Because it's infinity. Okay, because it's infinity. So this is causing the runtime error. It will keep running and then without giving you result. Because it's an error, runtime error. Okay, so for example, this one, okay, type in a number, okay, type in a number, you put in 1 and 2. Okay, so number 1 equal to so this number 2, number 3, okay, number 1 equal to number 2 over number 3, so you get 0.5. However, if you run again, you put in number 1, type in number 1 and 0. So 1 divided by 0, you get infinity. That's why the file will give you 0 division error. Okay, division by 0 is error. Cannot. So number 3 is the logic errors. So the program has no syntax errors, seems to be perfect, but the program runs from the beginning to the end with no runtime error also. It's also perfect, but the logic of the programs is incorrect. Okay, it does not do what it is supposed to and may produce an incorrect result. That's why I always ask you to key in the result that let's say you want to do the multiplication, 2 times 3, of course, is 6. So if the answer is not appear as 6, let's say it gives you 5, means something is wrong. So you need to check. That's what we call logic errors because it's not logic. So print, you see print, this program will calculate the area of rectangular. So you know that area of rectangular is length times width, okay? But then here, you see, you key in the wrong arithmetic operators. You use addition instead of multiplication. So when you do this, it will give you answer because it's no error, no runtime error, no syntax errors, print error. But then you see you key in 3 and 4. Supposedly it's 12. 3 times 4 is 12, but then it's giving you result 7 because you're having the logic errors. The answer is incorrect. So for you need to make sure you don't have these 3 kinds of errors for your program. Okay, so any question for these errors? It's supposed to be easy to understand, right? Just have to avoid it. It's cut. Okay. So let me explain to you another 1. So if you have the note by yourself, now you can open the chapter 4, program element, the slide. We cannot finish chapter 4 by today because chapter 4 is quite huge. So we will going to continue next week. Okay. Hide previous slide. So can everyone see this slide? It's okay, right?
Yes, Doctor.
Yes. Okay. So let us continue.
Yes, doctor. Can doctor?
Okay. Can okay. So wait, let me open the laser. So this is just to refresh you. I think this one you already key in last week, last class, right? To key in two number and then you will make the simple calculator. Okay, so this program is to make a simple calculator. Import OS and os.system. That one when you save as a Python file, when you open it separately, so it will stay static on the screen. So now you are using the Jupyter inside, you open it, so it will not disappear. But then when you open it differently for the program of Python, you need to have the import OS and os.system to make it pause on the screen, and it will not like after the result appear, it will straight away close the program. So this is the import OS function. Okay, so this one you can note it lah. So this is the comment after the pound sign. You have the comments. Okay, and then print additional calculators for two inputs. So this is display prompt, means that you display to the user. Okay, the output. Okay, so gather the input prompt. So number 1, okay, you declare float type and then input. Enter first number. So this one you will appear enter first number and then the user will key in. And then after key in, you will appear like enter second number. So user will key in. Both will be stored in the float number type. So sum equal to number 1 plus number 2. So you want to print it, you want to show the number the user key in just now, you can call the number 1. And then you put the string literal, okay, plus. And then you call the number 2, okay. And then equal to you, this is string literal and then the sum. So you will appear the result. Okay, the process statement, the display output. Okay. So now you can start to open your Jupyter, and then you can type this print Iron Man. Everyone, you can try to type this, and then you run. Yeah, I want you to start trying. Okay, so can you guys type this? Once you finish typing this, you can raise up your hand in the Google Meet so I can know. Okay, just type it. It's simple. I just want you to keep the data. I want to drink water, so I should turn. Okay, make sure every one of you already ready with the Jupyter. I want you to keep practice typing. Okay, so most of you already done. Okay, so for the print object output. Okay, so this produce multiple line of output. So how you want to make many lines? Normally you know lah. So when you put a print in the bracket, you put quotation mark I am. So this one will create one line, one single line. Okay, so you print again I am man. And next line, next print, you put another one. So it will appear like another line. So this one will make you to create multiple lines. Okay. So most of you done, just a little bit not yet. Okay, so next one. Okay, so another way to produce multiple line. So you need to type this also. Okay, multiple lines. So just now you need to type right print I am, another print I am man. But now you can do like this. You use another cell at the same one. You use another cell. So you can do this print in the bracket I am slash backslash and I am man. So it will also produce multi-line. You can try it now. Put down your hand and then you raise up your hand once you completed it. Today we are still at the learning the program elements about the Python. So after this, chapter 5, we will go through the selection and the control structure. So this one you need to learn it. So make sure you type this is just very short sentence. Okay, most of you already start to being finished. Hakim, are you doing? Abdi Razak? Abdi Razak, are you here?
Yeah, doctor.
Have you
What, doctor?
have you typed it?
Yeah. I do.
Akudin, Aina, have you turned on? You will type more and more.
Okay, doctor. Okay.
Okay, don't just listen, okay? This is
Okay.
programming.
Okay, doctor. I do.
Okay. So you can see this is another way to produce a multiple line lah. So I am /n is means next line. So it will produce next line. So in one print, you can make multiple lines. One /n, one next line. Okay. So also there's a way to prevent next line. You can have a way to make it like create next line. Also, you have a way to prevent adding the extra line. So for example, you print hi, and then you print END in the comma, you put END equal to, and then double quotation here. Okay. So for this is to prevent the extra line. And then you print sub, and then you do one extra line. Okay, you put END equal to, and then you put double quotation mark here. And then you print in the quotation mark, makan belum. So the result when you run, it will become hi, hey sub, makan belum. This one will be one single line. Only one single line because you prevent it from create another line. You ask the program not to give you extra next line. So this is the END equal to and double quotation mark, how you use it. Okay, so okay, this is the next one. So you print in the quotation mark and versus you print the name. So everyone, you try to type this. I want to explain this also. This one, a string is some message, and then you print a string and print quotation mark a string. You put down your hand again, and then once you finish this, you can show me. Try to type this, and then I will explain again. Okay, raise up your hand once you're done. Okay. Okay, so most of you already done. It's also simple. So now, okay, I explain this one. You can see a string. You assign this as variable, okay, and then you assign it to become a string literal with some message. So a string is equal to some message. Okay, so here you print a string without quotation mark, no quotation mark here. Mean you call out this. You call this into the output. So it will show you some message. But then when you print, you put the quotation mark. When you put the quotation mark, it means this is by itself is a string literal. This is a string literal. So whatever inside the string literal, it will appear. This string literal and this variable is two different things. This is a variable names, but this is a string content that you ask the computer to print it out. That's why the output will be some message and a string. Everyone, you got the same like me, right? Right? So you need to understand about this, how you use the quotation mark, when you have to use a quotation mark, when you have no need to use it. You need to be familiar with this already, yeah? No more this kind of explanation for next class, huh? This one, nothing. Okay. So if you want to have a no need like this one. Okay, that one is extra. Okay, variables and literal variables. So variable, like just now, a string is a variable. Variable is a storage location in memory, has a name and a type of data it can hold. Okay, so Python allows programmer to use variable without declaring it. In the previous software like C++, you need to declare it first, like the type is integer, like the type is characters, like the type is floating, double, and so on. But then for Python, you know it already without declaring it. Okay, so can directly assign, initiate any values into those variables, automatically select the appropriate data type according to the value you key in. So for example, number 1 equal to 10. So this one being stored as the integer number. Okay, integer data type. So for example, this one, okay. So again, is the additional calculator. So float input, enter the first number. So this is a way of declaring variable while asking for input. Variables number 1 assigned to hold the float data type. Means that the number you key in, it will be stored as the floating type, number with decimal points. Okay, even you key in the integer number, it will store as the floating number. Okay, so you request the second number also floating type. So sum equal to number 1 plus number 2. When you appear the result, you see you key in 5 and 4. Both are integer. But then because you declare it as floating type, so it will become 5.0 and 4.0 equal to 9.0. Because when you call it out, the number 1 now already become a floating number. When the integer floating number will add up 0.0. Okay, plus 4.0 equal to 9.0. Both, all are in the floating type of data. Okay, so literal, what is a literal in the string? Okay, string literals. Okay, a value that is written into a program code. So hello there in the quotation mark. So in the quotation mark, this is string literals. Anything inside that quotation mark within this is a string. You can put words, number, and so on. It will remain it as the string. Okay, and then this 12 is the integer. No decimal points means it's a integer literal. Okay, so for example, you assign green apples equal to 15. Okay, so print in the quotation mark, total number of green apple is, okay, in the quotation mark again, means this is a string literal, and then you want to call this amount of green apple you already assigned. So you will call it green apples, no quotation mark, because you want to call this. Okay, so total number of green apple is 15. That's why this is how it appears. Any questions? Are you guys okay? You can put down your hand. So if you have question, you can raise up your hand and I will know. I am looking at the slide and the screen at the same time. Okay, should be easy. Okay, and then for the variable, as I said in the last time when we go through the chapter 1, remember the basic one, the identifier is a programmer defined name. So you define the names for some parts of a program. So you cannot use keywords as identifiers. So this word have been reserved meanings. So this is some of the example of the keywords like if, else, okay, else, not, okay, true, okay, and with and while, and this all are the keywords. Means Python already have the special meaning for that, so you cannot use it for other meanings. Variable names. Okay, so how you name the variable? Must be having some rules, right? You cannot simply name it like whatever you like, because this is programming and then they have already set the rules for the syntax. Okay, so a variable name should be represent the purpose of the variable. So for example, items ordered. So from this straight away, you know that that variable must be the item that ordered. Okay, of course you can put A, B, C, X, Y, Z, but then that one will have special meaning? No, right? When you read this, then you need to refresh yourself and to memorize what is ABC, what is XYZ, where you put the name like that. It is not giving you the wrong answer, but then for that it's like no meaning. And then after now maybe you can remember the names, what is the meaning, but maybe after half year or 1 year or other programmer, when you hand over the project to them, so they would like being blur. What is that stand for? So for a variable name, it's very important that you put the name with the purpose. Okay. So the rules. So of course, identifier, you will have rules. Okay. So for the first character of an identifier must be an alphabetic character or an underscore. You can be A, B, C, capital or small capital, but you also can use underscore, but other than that, cannot. First character, you cannot be symbols. Okay, you cannot be 1, 2, 3, cannot. Only alphabetic and also underscore. Other than that, no. Okay, after the first character, you may use alphabetic characters, numbers, or underscore. So after that, the second character, you can start to put 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, any numbers, but only after the first character. Okay, and upper and lower case characters are distinct. This one means what? Okay, let's say you declare number. Wait, okay. Let's say you declare, where's my pen? Let's say you declare number. Oh, wait. I take out the pen. Remove. Let's say you declare number 1. And then the next one you declare number 1. So these are both different things. Number 1, this is small capital and this is uppercase. Okay, this is lowercase, this is uppercase. So these two are two different things. It's not the same things. So this is also some of the mistake that some students and including me sometimes we make. Because when we key in, we will accidentally put the wrong one. Okay, it must be consistent. Okay, it is distinct. Because this one and this is different. Without capital and with capital letter is different. Okay, so this is example. So first one must start with the alphabets, or okay, alphabets or start with underscore. Second one, the remaining character can consist of letter, numbers, and underscore. You see, you can put the numbers, you can put underscore within it. And then number 3 should not make of reserved words. N is a reserved word. Password N is okay, this is a reserved word. And then cannot contain any symbols. Other than underscore, there's no symbol allowed to be used as a variable names. So no symbol at all, including spacing, dot, and so on, no. Only underscore you can use. Other than that is a no. Okay, may not contain spaces of naming variable names. Like what I said, no spacing. Total cells, you either need to put underscore or either you just stick it together. Okay, we become one words. Not valid since has space between total and cells. There is no space allowed here. Name are case sensitive with uppercase and lowercase. As I said, if you put the uppercase, lowercase, and then if here accidentally you put the uppercase, then you will give you errors because these are not distinct. It's different. So you need to be extra careful with the rules name. Sometimes in the quiz or in the test, okay, it will give you like name of the variables and ask you is valid or invalid. If invalid, what is the reason? So you need to know about that. Okay, so this is the example. So first one, total cells. This one seems to be perfect. No symbols, no number at the top. Okay, so this is a yes. So total underscore cells. So this is also valid. But total dot cells is not valid because dot is a symbol. Symbol are not allowed. Okay, and then this one start with a number. Cannot also. And this one, you see, total cells, they put a pound, they put a dollar sign here. Also cannot because no symbols allowed. So next. Okay, so this is example data types that we have in the programming. So we have integer, you used to see. Float, you used to see. Long is very long for long one. Complex, okay? And then these two, we seldom use it. Okay, we will normally face integer and float. And character data type, we have the string. And bool data types, we have true, false, 1 or 0. Okay? So numeric data type, integer. Okay, integer data type is a plain integer, either positive or negative whole number. So it can be 10, negative 10, negative 1, negative 100, or either 100 and so on. Okay, but no decimal points. So assign for suitable variable applications such as number of students or number of cars. There are things in the world that you cannot count by the floating numbers. Okay, it must be in integer or whole. Like we are the like you guys students. Can we say you can half student or 1/3 of the student amount people? So for human being, we need to use 1 student, 2 student, 3 student. You cannot use 3.5 student, 3.25 student. No, that's why you need to have integer. Also for cars, okay, for car, 1 car, 2 car, you don't have half car. But then let's say if you key in the input and then it is in integer, and let's say you key in value like 2.3. So it will take the front value as 2. Let's say you key in 2.95. Will it take 2 or will it take 3? It will only take 2, it will not become 3. It will only take the integer number inside it when it's stored as the integer. Okay? Okay, so next slide. So long data type, long integer with infinite size. So similar with the integer except they are followed by the letter L. So you have 10L, negative 10L, and so on. So this one you just have to know lah. Normally you won't use it. Okay, so numeric data type float. Float also you were very common with it. Okay, represent real numbers. They will take the real number. Integer, it will only take the integer number. We will ignore the floating. But for float type, floating number, it will take the real number. Stored in a form similar to scientific notation, 6.022e. E is the exponent, exponent 23, for example. So all floating points number are assigned. Complex, used to represent complex number. For example, like represent the formula by a plus bi, where a and b are floats, while the I is in the square root of -1. So this is the example if you have the complex data type. Okay, so character data type. So this one I want you to type also. This one I want you to type. So this is how you get the character data type from the user. This one will be useful when you want to get the names, the address, the matrix number, or any data like a string data type. So you can type this and you can run the result. You can see what is the result. So everyone, you can start type this, and then once you finish, you raise up your hand. What is my program of this one? So you okay, you can type this first now. So once you finish, you can raise out your hand. I can see. So this is the example for it. Wait. Okay, so everyone, you type this. Some of you still not yet done. Who not yet done? Farahin, are you okay? Farahin, no Farahin? Danish? Chin? Type this, huh? I asked you to type so you can.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, so you can have it done. Nakudin, have you done it? Aina? Farhana? Rubashini? Today is all about the basic.
Doktor nak tanya, kalau tertinggal double dot tu tak ada apa ke?
That one double dot, this one is considered in the string literal. This one kan? Because it's in the quotation mark.
Oh.
Within the quotation mark, it will, whatever you type, it will appear.
Oh.
Sebab dia tu string. Dia as whole thing. Dia bukan satu operators. It's not operators, it's just string.
Okay, doktor.
Okay. Wait, I wait for a minute still for those who not yet done. Anyone having problems with your Jupyter? Aina, are you okay, Aina? Farhana? Aina and Farhana, are you okay?
Yeah, madam.
Have you done?
I'm still writing. My connection slow.
Oh. Aina, are you okay?
Okay, doktor, sedikit lagi.
Yeah. Recently, the internet is quite bad. Sometimes also I being signed out. Like today class in the morning, I have another class also being signed out. Okay. So let me explain to you this one. Okay. So you see state is equal to, you assign state assigned to str mean for string literal input enter state. So you ask the user to enter state. So the value, the state it key in, okay, it will store in the state. So you print state is, okay, and then you call out the state. So it will, that's why you say enter state. So you key in Johor. So straight away it will appear as state is Johor. Johor is the one you key in, it being called out. That's why you can see that here is no quotation mark. Because you call what is you key in for the state. So for the next one, you see state, you assign state is equal to Singapore. You assign state to a string literal. In the quotation mark, this is string literal. You didn't assign it as string literal the type because when you key in this, the programming straight away assign it as string literal. It help you automatically assign it. Okay, so you print state. So now the state, you will call out this one, Singapore. Here you are in the same cell, same program, but then you have this state and this state. So why the state change? Supposedly it's Johor, right? But then for the program Python is the right-hand rules where it's going from the top to the bottom. So it will take the latest assignment. So you assign the state as Singapore. Before you print it out again, means that now the state is no longer being assigned as Johor. The state now is changed to Singapore. So that's why it appears Singapore instead. So if you run again, continue the program, it will just take the Singapore as the state. So no longer take what you key in. So this is why you do like this. Okay, so understand this, the string literal. So I proceed to next element. Everyone okay? So you put down your hand first. Okay, so this is the string literal. We go to the next. Why give me pusing lagi? My computer recently is really What's wrong with you? Wait a minute, guys. My PowerPoint. Wait a minute. Just don't want to have actions. Wait a minute, guys. You see, wait for the program to respond. Wait a minute. Let me see what happened. You can tag 5. I didn't say anything yet, Farhana. Wait a minute. I'm waiting. My computer is hanging. So I'm restarting the PowerPoint. Don't know why this semester the computer is keep hanging. After changing the antivirus. Wait, yeah, guys, I'm opening it. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Okay, wait, let me go back to the slide. We are it. Okay. Okay, so this is, just now we already finished this string character. So bool data type. Bool data type is a true false, okay, by the booleans. Okay, represent value that are either true or false. So both variables are stored as small integer, false represent by 0 and true by 1. Okay, so bool all done is true. Bool all finished is false, either 1 or 0. For the Boolean data type, normally you will use it in the repetition control structure. Okay. So variable assignment. So an assignment statement use the operators to store a value in a variable. Okay, item equal to 12 means you store 12 into items. So this statement assign the value 12 into the items variable. The variable received the value must appear on the left side and not the operator. So as I said in the when I explained the arrows, Okay, 12 equal to assignment. This one cannot. This one cannot. You must assign item equal to 12. The variable names must be at the left, and then the value assigned must be at the right. This is the rules. So at variable initializations. So to initialize a variable means to assign it a values and automatically define with appropriate data type. So you put length equal to 12. Straight away, the Python will make it as integer data type. Okay. So multiple variable assignments in the same line. So normally before this you assign only one at once. So now you can assign multiple. Okay, you can see A, B, C, Q, R, J, X, Y, Z. You assign 20, 38.9, and multiple assignment. 20 is integer. 38.5 is floating number. Okay, multiple and multi-assignment. This one is string literal because it's in the quotation mark. So this you can straight away assign for multiple variables. You don't need to assign one by one. If you want to assign like multiple, you can straight away in using the same line, assign like this. So when you call the ABC, it will come out 20. When you call the QRJ, you print, it will appear 38.5. When you print the XYZ, it will appear multi-assignment. Okay. So arithmetic operators. Okay, now we go to arithmetic. Used for performing numeric calculations. So previously a C++ Python also the same. Okay, we have unary, which is only one operand. Okay, negative. Normally negative is the one that you can use for one. Binary, you need two operands. Okay, left and right. And then ternary means three operands. You need more than three operands. Okay, so this one, let me clear this first. Why is something like this? Wait, oh, wait. Right, let me clear the notation first. Okay. It was the things that I wrote during the last class with another one. Okay, so here binary arithmetic operators, you have plus, okay, additions, minus, subtractions, multiplications, division, and modulus. So what you are not familiar at here is only this modulus. Okay, so you know this 7 plus 3 is 10, 7 minus 3 is 4, 7 times 3 is 21, 7 divided by 3 is 2. Why is 2? Why is 2? Because here integer and integer, 7. Let me get a pen. Okay, 7. 7 divided by 3. 2, 3, you get 6, right? Remaining 1, right? So if it is integer and integer, it will show you the integer answer. It will not show you the floating type. Okay? And then modulus. 7 divided by 3. 2, 3, 6, right? Remaining 1, right? So when you have the modulus sign means what is remaining after the division. So now remaining is 1. That's why when 7 modulus of 3, remaining is 1. This modulus sign is good when you want to determine the number is even or odd. Because when you divide anything by, let's say you divide anything x, divide by 2. So whatever is only remaining either 1 or either 0. So if it is 1, Remaining one means it is odd number. It is 0, that means it's an even number. Okay, then we go to example. So you go through this one by one. Okay, so print integer 13 divided by 5. Okay, so 13 you divide by 5 because it's integer, so you cannot, when you press a calculator will always show you the floating number. So when you want to you want to do the test of the Python and so on, you cannot just based on the calculator because you need the knowledge about that. So you get 2 times 5 equal to 10 and then remaining 3. So the answer is 2. It's not 2 point something because here you want only result is integer. Okay, so 91 over 7. 91 divided by 7. So if you press calculator, how much you will get? You will get 13, right? Okay, and then by default the calculation is with floating number. That's why if you give you 13.0 instead of 13, here you see you need to have integer, then it will show you the integer result. This is the different things in between Python and previous other coding software. And then 13 divided by 5.0. So 13 divided by 5.0. So this is floating, this is integer. The ranking of floating number is higher than the integer. So that's why you need to promote it to become floating also. So that's why you will get 2.6. When you press on the calculator, it will give you 2.6. Okay. So you can see that 13 divided by 5, you will get 2.6. That's why it appears as 2.6. Okay. So 91, now 91.0 divided by 7. Okay. It is also showing you 13.0 because it's also the floating number. But then now 13 modulus of 5. Let me clear what I draw, erase or ink on the side. Okay, 13 modulus of 5. Okay, so this one you get 2. Okay, then the modulus, the remaining number is 3. That's why it's showing you 3. Okay, this one is 13 modulus of 5. But then now you see 13 modulus of 5.0 means 13.0 divide 5.0. So 2 and then 10.0, it will show you 3.0. Because you have the floating type, that's why it's showing you 3.0. Okay, so 13 modulus of 3.5. 13 modulus of 3.5. Okay, so this one supposedly is 3, then you get 10.5, remaining 2.5. So that's why it's showing you 2.5. When it's 13 divided by 3.5, this one. When you're at home, you need to go through it one by one to improve yourself. Okay, on this modulus. So 13 divided by 6.5 is 2, you get 13. Okay, 0.0. So you will get 0.0. Because it's floating type, so that's why it's showing you 0.0. But the last one you see is 14 divided by 7. 2 times 14 is 2 times 7 is 14. So here both are integer. Okay, so it's 0 remaining. That's why it's showing you 0. This is the trick that I always use. Sometimes we use to trick students to test your knowledge in the Python. Okay, for your test and so on. Any questions? No questions. So I move to next. So next, what is program documentations or comments? So program documentation used to provide information about a computer to another programmer, write or modifies the program. So this is different from a user manual, which is written for people who will use the program. Okay, documentation is written inside the same file as the computer program. So when you see the computer program, you can see the documentations. Okay, so the purpose is to help other programmers to understand the program, what is the different part of the program do, what are some of its limitation, anything. Basically, this is the comments that you put in it. Okay, When you put the comments inside, it means this is the documentation. You put the important notes. When you do a program, maybe you are working at this company, you do the program for them. But then you want to quit. Of course, the other programmer will take over your project. So you need to have notes. Else the programmer will chasing you, ask you, what is this? What is this? What is this? Okay. So for the programming documentation, do not contain instruction for the computer to execute. The documentation is just document. Okay, it is not instruction for it to execute and not translated into machine language. Whatever behind the documents, the pause sign, okay, comment is not translated into machine language. It's just a note, the documents. Okay, consists of information for the reader of the program. What does the program as a while? Okay, like do the calculation, tests, and so on. What are the specific features, okay, of the program? Example, like calculate the personal or small business tax, and what are the limitations, and what are the versions of the program. Okay. So format. For single line documentation, you just need to use the pause sign. Okay, this one you are very familiar with it. We always use this. Okay, so whatever in the single line, whatever you type after the pause sign is just comments. Also, you can call it documentations. Okay, so after the pause sign, you type everything what you need. This one will not appear on the screen when you show the output. This one is inside the program for the programmer. Okay, so another one, if you want to have multiple line, okay, multiple line, you can start with this one. Okay, 3 quotation mark, 3 types of quotation mark, and end with 3 types of quotation mark. So for example, you have a 3 type quotation mark, text it, this program you electronically calculate, in the pause sign, your tax return, and so on. Okay, so this is how you document it. This is for your knowledge. Huh? If you want to make a diary in the program, you don't want anyone see, you can do something like this maybe. Okay, so what you have to do it now is you need to, previously I think you have typed a program, so now you need to type this program. So later I will ask you to do add the parameter. So everyone, you need to prepare this program now, and then once you finish it, you raise up your hand. Can you do it now?
All right,
Type this program, yeah. Okay, so Nur Hafiza, have you done? Nur Hafiza, done. Okay, who else? Let me see. Okay, everyone is ni Muhammad siapa nama ni? I cannot see the full name. Okay, so let me explain this. So you already know this. So what is the different things is here you have a rounding. When you have rounding means you want to make it like have decimal point and maximum 2. Okay. So for example, you see this one is a output for it. Let me open it. Okay. Okay, so this is the coding when you can see. So this is the area calculator of a rectangular. So I key in the value 1.22 and enter the width 2.33. And then when it appear, okay, I set the area and then round to 3. So now I round to 3. When I round to 3 means that I want 3 decimal point as the final answer. So the area is 2.843 millimeter power of 2. Okay, so now onwards, when you want to key in the value and ask the value, you can ask the user the unit that you want them to key in also. Okay, so enter the length, and then maybe you can add in the bracket in mm and so on. So you can guide the user what is the value they need to get in. So round is meaning for the rounding. But then you can see that when you key in the value, and then it is integer. When it's come with integer, it's not showing you 2 decimal point. Why? Because they don't even have 1 decimal point. So 5 times 4 is 20. So it will change it to floating type. Okay, it will change it to floating type. That's why it's 20.0. Okay, so now what I want you to do is, okay, you add on the program to also calculate the perimeter. Means that program can calculate also perimeter. Perimeter is what you guys know, right? It's 2 length plus 2 width. Okay, so now when you have an area, we can have a rectangular. Okay, so this is the length, this is the width. So 2 length times plus 2 width is the perimeter. Okay, so it's a program, same program, you just need to add on to calculate the perimeter. You know how to do it? Are you guys still with me?
Yeah, I still.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Because I didn't see you guys didn't on the webcam, so I'm not so sure I'm talking alone or what. Okay, so now at your program, you add on this. You can copy into new one and then you add it. So how are you going to do it? I'll give you some time. You put down your hand first, then you try to do it. I don't want to show you the answer now. If you have the slide, then you know the answer already lah. Okay, so you can do it first. So once you're done, I will explain to you again. Just add a little bit more on the program. So this program is to calculate area and perimeter. Then from the data you get, you straight away you can generate 2 data. This is what we call the sequential sequential control structure, because you calculate everything step by step. So make sure you do it. I go to toilet for a while. Okay, I'm back. So raise up your hand once you're done. You must try this now because I will give you assignment later. Apa ni? Okay. Still few more to go, students. I'm having sore throat. Any questions? Anyone having problems to do this? Okay, so let me show you the answer now. For those who have problem, maybe you can refer to this one on how to do it. Yes, okay.
Doktor dia boleh buat satu-satu tak apa kan?
What do you mean by satu-satu?
Macam tadi kan kita buat area kan, lepas tu sambung bawah buat perimeter punya pula.
No need because you are using the same input. You are not using different input.
Maksud saya macam ni, saya ambil, okay kita yang macam biasa ni, length, width dengan area ni kita macam biasa sampai sini. Lepas tu perimeter ni kita buat yang kat bawah sikit itu.
Can also.
Alright.
But then you no need to ask the input again. The input you can keep it, then you make it like you want to put perimeter equal to length times 2 plus width times 2, right? Can also.
Okay.
In programming, you don't have specific rules, but it's, as I said, the rules is from top to bottom.
Okay.
From top to bottom.
Okay, Doctor.
But then it will be different is at what? It will be different when you do the flowchart. When you do the flowchart, this one become you calculate area, you display. Calculate perimeter, you display. If you want to do like that. But if you want to do what I did now is calculate area and perimeter, display area and perimeter. The flowchart will be different. But the output appear will be the same.
Okay, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome. Those not raise up your hand, are you having any problems? Or you just not yet complete it? You just add some sentence in the same one, you can copy and then you edit. If you have problem, let me know, because online this one, I very difficult to go to check one by one. If in the lab, I can do it. Please let me know if you have problem. So I explain, okay? So for this, you can see that just now, normally you only calculate one thing, but now from the same input, you can calculate 2 things, 3 things, 4 things, 5 things. You can do it. This is what we call the sequential. Means after you calculate one, you calculate another. After one, then you calculate one. After one, you calculate one. Okay, you cannot choose what can you calculate yet. Okay, that one you will learn in chapter 5. So print this area. This is an area and perimeter calculator for rectangular. And then you print again. Why you want to have this and this? Because you want to have single line spacing. You can see that here you have a single line spacing. And then this is area and perimeter calculator for rectangular. After that, you put this again. In the quotation mark, you put blank. Mean that you will create another single line. Okay, so enter length, I key in 5. Enter width, I key in 10. So both are integer number, even though I put the rounding to 2. But then because it's only integer, so it will only appear 1 decimal point. Okay, and then you already calculate the area, the perimeter, you round it both, and then you display the result. This is one way. You also can do the area, round it, print it, calculate the perimeter, round it, and print it. Both are okay because for the coding is from the top to the bottom. As long as the result appear is correct, then no problems. Okay. So this is how you do it. So if you want to, let's say, calculate for another shape. So what you have to do, you need to continue at the bottom. So after calculate rectangular, so okay, so now we are going to calculate another shape. Then you can continue. Okay. So we go to next slide, can I? So let's go for extra smiles. So change. Now I change to calculate the width required for an area of rectangular. Hint. Ask the area and rectangular required from the user. Sometimes it's like this. You know, area is length times width. The equation given in the task is area equal to length times width. But then you don't want to calculate area. You have the area, but you want to calculate the width. So you need to rearrange the equations to become width equal to area over length. So after you rearrange the equations, then you can calculate. Because in the programming, you cannot put area equal to length times width, and then you want to find the length and find the width. You call out the width, no. You need to rearrange it, width equal to area times over length. So you get the value of area over length, then you get it. Okay, so what I want you to do for the tutorial is, last time, remember you do the flowchart one. Remember you have the flowchart assignment, you do the flowchart for four shapes, right?
Yes.
Now I want you to do the coding for 2 shapes. Only 2, I don't want you to do 4. Too many for you. I think you will complain later. So just now you already complete 1, right? You calculate area and perimeter, right? You just have to modify it, and then you calculate A, IXX, and IYY for rectangular. After that, after finish, then you calculate again the triangular for A and IX in coding. Okay, and then you need to submit the coding. You print screen the coding is okay, together with the result. No handwriting, just coding. Let me see another section what I give them. They already learned last week, because on last week you guys on holiday. Wait, let me see. You still use the traditional way because I haven't shown you how to do the mathematical equations. Wait a minute, let me see. Because I want you guys to do the same thing. Okay, no need to submit, but next week I want to see it. And then you need to keep it. Next week during the class, I will ask you to show me lah. You have to do it at home. No need to submit. Is it okay for you guys? No need to
Okay,
submit by
okay.
next week. I want you to show me. No need to submit in the Google Classroom. Because too many submission, I need to mark like crazy also. Okay. So I want to continue. Time still early. I want to continue one more thing. Is this one. It's in the input and output statement. Wait, let me close this first. Else it will give me hanging again. Okay. So I want to go to this. Wait, input and output. So those already download the input and output statement slide, you can refer to it. This is slide number 9 because the front opposite slide actually I already explained in this class from just now the program elements. Some things are repeating, so I won't touch it. Okay, so output prompt display manipulator, how you use dot format. There is another thing called dot format. Okay, so using the dot format method like value and value. So length equal to 10, height equal to 11. So area equal to length times height. So print the area of rectangular with the length of, okay. So with the length of this and width of this and this is, then you call dot format length, height, and area. So these three will be filling out in these three brackets. Okay. So length will be filled out here, height will be filled out here, and the area will be filled out at here. So this is how you use the dot format method. So what I want you to do now is you have to practice. You type this in your computer, in your programming. Control Shift plus. Oh, cannot too small. Okay, so you can type this in your program. Can everyone see this? You type this finish first. You put out your hand first. When you finish, I will explain to you this one. Those complete, then you raise out your hand. Huh? Okay, let me know once you completed it. I'm talking very slow today because I have no voice already after the morning 2 hours class. Okay, so few of you already done, so wait for others. This one also you need to keep, so you can see how you're going to do this, the dot format method. Okay, most of you already done. Anyone having problems? Shazwin, Liu, Chami, Azim, Rubashini, done. Okay, Aiman.
Settle, Doktor.
Okay. So what is the difference of this than the other print out functions? Before this, when you want to do the showing, you need to call like you need to use the traditional way, right? You need to call the variables, and then in the comma, in the bracket, you put the string, and then you put a comma, call the variables, and then you put a comma, right? It will give you like troublesome also, right? When you put the number 1 plus number 2 equal to the sum, remember? When for, what is that? Let me show you. When you're doing this, you want to put number 1 plus number 2 equal to sum. You need to call the variable and then put the quotation mark, again, you put the comma, you call out another variable, and then you put quotation mark again, you put this string, and then you call the sum. So you have many steps of this, right? So instead of doing this, you have another method is you're using the dot format method, where you can see that you only have one opening of quotation mark, another one at the end. So in the middle, you just call out the result by using this dot format method. Okay, so the area of rectangular with the length of, so the first one, you will call out the first one in this bracket. After the dot format, you put in what you need. But then here, dangerous thing is you don't put the wrong one inside. Else it will call the wrong variable. So make sure the arrangement of the variable here you want to put in is according to what you have to put in. One, you put the wrong arrangement, then you mess up lah. Okay, so the area of rectangular with the length of 10 with width of 11 is 110. So this is the method of how you can prompt the output in more organizing and easiest way. Okay, so everyone, you have question for dot format method? I will only show you once.
Doktor. Kalau pakai format ni untuk buat yang kita punya tu nanti boleh ke?
You punya apa?
Yang
boleh, tak ada masalah.
Rectangular, triangle tu semua.
Can. All today for you is to learn the basic elements. What is the element? How you going to do the input and output? You can do either one, no problem. Okay. So this is the input and output pro method. So I want to go to next slide. Okay, some of it is extra, so you can go through it. I want to go here. Actually, this one, I think I can continue next week. You want me to continue now or continue next week? Because next week you have another element. I will continue with operators, expression, and mathematical libraries. Is it too much for you already for today to digest? Or can I continue a little bit more?
Continue.
Continue, and just 5 more slides, 6 more slides only. Okay. So for mathematical library. So before this, if you want to use anything, you have not yet learned about the import math function. So now you can use the import math. For sin, tan, cos, it is available in the mathematical library. Okay, so for common use, you have sin, cos, tan, square root, logs, absolute value. Okay, and many more. You need to explore yourself. I cannot show you everything. Okay. So, for example, some mathematical functions required to import extension math and use it in the program. So you can type this now as practice because there are 2 functions, I think. You can now do it now. Put down your hand. Once you completed this, then we will continue. It's just a little bit more only, guys. Okay.
Boleh, Doktor.
Wait, let me show you. You just straight away type these 2 methods. You can run. First, you type this, and then you run this. Another one you type means you need to type two cells. One is this. After you finish, you run the result, and then you type another one. Straight away, you type these 2. There are 2 methods of using it. I show you now. Both, you need to complete both. Put down your hand first, everyone. Put down your hand. Chai, Aiman. You complete these 2 math function. So you also can try to use it in your coding for the, oh no, sin tan cos yet, right? A little bit more, then finish. Another hand tracing, then finish. So next week, we only have the input and output operators. Good. Azim done, okay? The other students, let's see you. Once you're done, you let me know. Okay. Little bit more students, not yet done. Few more, then I explain this. Everyone, are you in the campus staying here, Parit Raja? Some of you here, right? Some are not, right? So be ready to raya in Batu Pahat. Are you guys okay?
Jangan cakapnya tu doktor, nanti diorang menangis.
Masa tu saya raya Cina pun dekat sini lah, but I got the chance to go back for 2 days. Sedih kan? Yeah, what to do? Now even difficult to cross state, but we can still cross district. Okay, a few more students to go. You do this, you run it. You do this, you run it. Macam yang TikTok punya tu You do this and then you run it. You do this, you run it. Then you got it. I explained it. Done, finish. Ini COVID. Already 1 year plus. Tak habis. At least you guys have entered the UTSM before. You imagine those first year students entered last semester. Until now, not yet come to UTSM. Or just enter because of the lab work. Don't really feel the campus life.
Kenal you atas nama ya doktor.
Until when? Who not yet done? Ching, have you done Ching? Shazwin? Azim?
Done, doctor.
Done, so I explain. So, okay, to import library, normally you need to use import. Remember just now I explained the import OS? That one is OS lah. So now you import mat, means you call out the mat functions. So some mathematical function are required to import extension mat to use in the program. If you're not using the import mat, you put the square root, the sin, tan, cos, you cannot use it because you need to import the mathematical library. So you put number equal to 12, new underscore number, this is another variable, like equal to mat dot square root. Okay, if you put import mat like this, the format to call the function is mat dot the things you want to call it. So now you want to use square root, so you put sqrt, and then you use the number from this. So print the new number. So square root of 12, you get 3.464. Okay, so this is how you do it, mat dot square root. If you want to use mat for sin, tan, cos, then you need to use mat dot sin, mat dot tan, and so on. So this is the format on how you use it. Okay, so another way is from mat import square root as s. So let's say you have a very long program. You do not want to keep mention this for many times if you have a very complex program. So you can, at the beginning, you put square root as s. Okay, import mat. From mat, import square root as s. So now here is import mat, here is different. So from mat, you input the square root as s. So number equal to 12, new number equal to s means square root number. So you can see the different thing is here. Here you need to put mat dot square root, but here you only need to put s because you import that thing as s. So s number means square root number. So you get the same answer 3.464. When you run in the computer, you get the same, right? Oh, you get the same, right? So these are the two methods you can use when you want to use the mat library. So when you write the equations and so on, also you need to use this function. Okay? Let's say you need to write, this is just simple. Maybe you want to do like x squared plus y squared. Shami, what is this? Okay, so you need to use like this, need to know how to write. So we go to next, hand tracing a program. So how can you hand tracing a program? So hand tracing a program act as if you are the computer execute the program. Okay, normally hand tracing is very important when you are doing your test also, because when you are doing your test, it's all handwriting, and you need to use your brain to think what is the input, what is the output, how you write the program. You cannot use computer to generate anything. Okay? So for example, everyone look at this and tell me what is the error. You hand tracing practice. It will show you the answer. So what is the problem at here? You look at this. Anyone want to tell me? You can tell me. I think this is the last part for today. Yeah, last slide. You tell me faster, then you can go back, but you can finish the class faster. Anyone? What is the error?
Saya
Dia tinggal sama
rasa
dengan
nombor
word.
3. Saya rasa sama dengan 6-3 tu bagi 3 saja.
6-3 tu. Here. Okay. So this is what we call just now when I explained to you the error, right? So there is no syntax error, right? This program, because you can see there is result. So this is not runtime error because it's already also showing you result, right? Oh, wait. Okay. But then you will have the logic errors. Why? Because you put the wrong one. This one normally happen when you are facing your test. You need to handwriting the program. So number 1, okay, float, input, number 1, number 2, number 3. But when you total the average, supposingly you have a bracket. Okay, in the bracket, number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3 over 3. But here you lacking of it. Means, okay, some of you maybe not yet able to catch it. So supposedly here you have a bracket. Right? You miss it. So become number 1 plus number 2 and then plus number 3 over 3 only. That's why you get this answer. So this is what we call hand tracing a program to hand tracing the problems. Okay, no logic errors. If you run the program, will not the Python will not tell you this is error. So you will not know the errors. You need to hand tracing it yourself. When you realize the result is incorrect, you need to check one by one. So this is for today. So next week we will go to the operate. So for this chapter, we still have one is operators and expression lah. This one is quite a huge chapter and a lot of input also. Okay. So after next week, then you are ready. Then I will give you a quiz for chapter 4. And maybe quiz for chapter 4 for you to practice lah, some of the typical questions that you will face. But not this week. This week you just do that one that I asked you just now. So next week we will continue to finish the chapter 4. Any questions for today's class? If not, then you can leave the class. Except those just now not yet take the attendance. I need to take their attendance. Any questions? No questions. You can leave the Google Classroom.